Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I very much appreciate it. My name is Robin, and I'm the owner of Robin's Healing, which if you have subscribed to this channel, I feel like you would already know that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Lots of energy happening as per usual. So April 18th, 2018. So not predicting the future, working on the energies of the here and now. So although I do personal readings, I don't really focus on like, here's how your future is going to be. I really focus on energy healing. I'm a clairvoyant, and I give you messages according to what I feel like you need, and I hear voices in my head and see visions so that you feel like I try to provide answers for you so you feel like you have someone that you can trust and rely on for spiritual guidance. And I also teach you practices to help you move forward and onward, because I really work on the energy of the now. So I'm not really concerned about like the later. I'm concerned about how you're feeling now, because I want to make you feel better. All right. So following through with your ideas is so important today. And ego is also important. So I just did a video. Feel free to watch it. It's about ego versus heart is what it says. And really working on channeling your own energy so you can identify with this around that subject, because I'm hearing so much about fear lately and logic, and it's so hard for people to trust their instincts, and they don't know what intuition is. And I mean, if I didn't have my experiences in my life, I probably would be the same way. So, but I certainly feel like it's my responsibility to focus on my path and my spiritual awakenings and that sort of thing. And so that's why I teach, because I think it's important to teach other people the importance of it. And it's not about like, it's not my job to care about your outcome, but I certainly find it helpful if you have an outlet or you have somebody to support you along your way, just like I wanted at times, and just like I've had at times, because I learned over the years that it's really important to receive, it's important to love yourself, and you need to foster and promote these things for other people as well. So I just had a man that helped me, because I've been on this spiritual journey, and working towards enlightenment like we all are, and I've learned a lot about change. And it's like, just when you think that you've got things in the right place, they seem to change. So the more the more you learn about this stuff, the more your life changes, and it seems like nothing makes sense. Like you pay and commit to something and end up on a completely different path that was way better for you. It's just like, but I paid all this money for this. And it's like, yes, but you're still getting more out of it the other way. But other people will think this because I didn't continue. It's like, if you're on your spiritual path, or like, there are moments where we just need like moments of endearment. Like, we just need somebody to channel energy for us, to help us, or we just need somebody to lend us that helping hand when we need an egg from our neighbor, or a cup of flour from somebody that's just out on the street, that's a stranger, that says, hey, like, I've got a cup of flour. But if you didn't ask that person for that cup of flour, they won't know that you need a cup of flour. So I'm just working on healing today. If you watch my weekly reading, I'm pretty sure I talked all about Wednesday being a day of healing. So I think I'm talking about flower, because I talk so much about flowers. So metaphors, psychology is coming up, because that's my background. So I always feel like I'm supposed to tell you guys that I talk a lot about like mental illness and working with mental health and that sort of thing. And there's someone I feel like who's in a relationship where they feel like promises are really important to them. So when they commit to something, they have to stick with it. But then if you watch my ego video, that will make more sense to you as well, because I think it's all about change. So I do my best to be like an educator also for people. But one thing you will find when you learn healing from me is that I help people seek truth and seek balance for themselves. So it's not like I'm like make you do all the work. I just help you with things that you may not have even known that you needed help. So you came to me for one thing and you ended up getting something else, similar to what I was saying, that has happened to me a lot along my way. You never know where you're going to end up, and you never know what's going to happen to you. So, and I'm not saying that to scare you, because that's what my video is that I just talked about was about, that it's to teach you that there's something beautiful around that corner. And the more aware you are of that beauty around the corner, the better that corner is going to be. And so people have put a lot of negative junk into our heads. And so this is about learning that you can learn from positive people about positive things. And, you know, my journey of trying to be a person who influences people in a positive way has been like, wow, people like really don't like positive people. And it's like, if you've experienced really negative things, you struggle with trust, and that in itself is a bunch of like junk and ego stuff also. So it's kind of like I'm still carrying that energy around with me. So that's why I teach people about how to let go of the ego and how to like transmit and radiate positive light and positive energy out there towards other people. And unless we start talking about this and coming together and starting to agree with each other and starting to find like common grounds with other people, you may feel like other people are against you. So this may resonate with a few people that I'm talking about, because one thing that happens in ego is that like, you can't do that, these people don't like you. And that's like so far from the truth. So if we looked at ourselves from like a positive perspective, when we heard ego come in, we'd know that that's not true. But because we're already in a lower vibrational state, and then ego comes in, ego loves that. Ego's like, yeah, like ha ha ha, got you now. And so it's a trick, okay? So this is where mental illness gets a hold of us, because we're already in a lower state, maybe from the food that we've been eating or the people that we've been around, and then ego comes in and eats that up and chews you up and spits you out. So if you're going to feed into that fear-based thought process and that sort of thing, and then start to believe it, I mean, it's not it's not that big of a deal when something's happening to you, because it's happening to all of us. It's just learning to shift the energy. So do you want to shift that energy? If so, work on increasing it. And that's an amazing process that you get to experience. So, you know, we tend to hold on to things that just aren't serving us. And that's where control comes in, because it's like who taught you or told you that these things are true? Like, what makes you think that you have to live your life that way? Do you really like getting up in the morning and going to work 9 to 5? Some people, yes, I love routine. It makes me feel so good. I know exactly what's going to happen. And then other people may be like, well, I just fly off the seat of my pants. And then some people may say, oh my God, like, that you must be so stressed out all the time. And some people will say, yeah, no, I'm extremely stressed. Like, I would love to have a routine, because I can't stand the fact that I never know what's, tomorrow's going to bring. And so the energy around all of this that I've been talking about, I'd say for a good 4 weeks, and what I'm hearing over and over is slow down. So when we can catch our breath and we can find peace in our moments, everything comes to us. So I teach tarot cards, and I just feel like bringing up tarot also, probably because I'm supposed to pull a card. One thing with tarot is that in the beginning we start off, we have no idea where we're going, and in the end, everything comes to us. We don't have to look for it anymore. So all that soul searching, like all that soul searching stuff is just, it all works out for us, okay? So just if you need to do the work, do the work. Everything will come together. Just do what you know that you need to do in your hearts, all right? Childhood's really coming up. We're clearing energy around children. We're clearing energy around finances. So like, I'm just feeling emotionally happy about today. And it's funny, I'm doing this like a few days before, so it's not today. So, but it's still giving me some optimistic vibes, and I was hesitant. Do I do this one early? Do I do it early? And my angels were saying, yeah, Robin, you do this early. And it's probably because it gives me something to look forward to as well. So also, if we hear this a little bit earlier, it gives us that optimistic energy towards what's coming. So slowing down, slow down. Where are you going? Why are you in such a rush? Are you worrying about something? Hanky says, are you worrying about something? Sometimes with Hank, I go, Hanky, you worrying? Hanky worrying? Hanky worrying? Says Hanky worrying? Hanky doesn't worry. He doesn't worry because he has fun. So when we slow down to play and we slow down to have fun, like it's just such a beautiful, beautiful gift that this, life has to offer. And life is learning, right? And life is change. And so when we can learn that we can take it all in a lighthearted way, or I even feel like your ancestors would be proud, like people that haven't even met you, that are part of your family path and your spiritual journey. They would be watching over you and being proud of you. So if you look at life that way, it's beautiful. So the Empress is saying creative energy. So getting out, going for that walk, talking about not denying your truth. Like, are you avoiding something, that sort of thing. So does Hanky avoid things? Hanky? Does Hanky avoid things? Does Hanky avoid things? Hanky doesn't avoid things. So, but Hanky worries sometimes. Maybe. Does Hanky worry sometimes? Yeah, I think Hanky worries a little bit sometimes, but not so much. Anyway, silly. A very happy life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. So going to other people like that are healers is really positive. So we want to go to other people to get help. That's why I do this. It's not just to make money, although making money is positive for me. I mean, there are so many avenues that we have to make money. It's just, I think we're opening up to new ways, new avenues of income, new ways to deal with mental illness. Like, we don't want to worry anymore. Like, that energy just makes me sick. King of Air, does it make you sick, Kingy? Does it make you sick? So we're healing, that's for sure. Seven of Air, more fun in our life is so important. So January through to probably like April, which we're in right now, these last 4 months have probably been a strong few months for you, we'll say. And now you're coming into a place where you can maybe deal with things, you can handle things. Maybe it's about, like I'm talking about being clairvoyant. Maybe you are clairvoyant yourself and you're just learning to start to visualize things. You're seeing the future, you're seeing the plans. We're not crazy for tapping into this stuff. We're educating ourselves on how to be more enlightened. So psychology background or no psychology background, who gives a hoot around that? It's just something that like I chose to focus my energy on, and now I'm helping people with it. But whatever you've committed to, it absolutely doesn't matter. You change your mind at any given time, and that is completely okay. So I think you're just depending way too much on what other people think and basing your decisions around what they think. And that's not the energy that's working for people anymore. So that whole, like, I teach reflexology also, and it's like that fight or flight state. When we're healing, we can't be in a state where we're living in fear, we're uptight. We have to be completely relaxed, otherwise the healing doesn't work. So that's a big thing that I've learned also, is like through diet and exercise, is like, oh my god, we can do all the work, but if we're not relaxing, then it doesn't even matter. So it's like we go to work, we work our tails off, and then we do the feng shui, we do the trusting, and then all that stuff, and then one big thing happens to us and we're just like, for F's sakes, like, I can't believe this happened, and that one big thing like threw us off. So and we're doing all the work. So don't let those big things like ruin you. That's where patience comes in. It's like, okay, well, like, I know that this really big thing happened to me. It's easier said than done, but I have to have faith and I have to have spirituality. So that's more or less why I work with spiritual energy, is because I find that is, at the end of the day, more powerful than anything. So plans need some revision. There's a lot happening, not great timing, it's saying. But there's more creativity coming through in your decision making. So maybe that you want to get a reading finally, which excites me because I don't feel so weird about doing this anymore. Or maybe you're just so done with the hectic energy that you're trying to simplify your life. So for instance, we're downsizing our home and we want to like have like a nice garden and, plant our own food, and, maybe you want to travel a little bit more so you can learn more about like society and culture and the world, and get away from your everyday stuff. So that all that energy is very beautiful. So I'm just kind of pleased to hear that maybe you guys are actually shifting and changing that mentality. So speak your mind with confidence. Self-expression is huge right now. I love this card. You may find that scientific evidence is so important for you, and that's great because maybe you're a researcher. Maybe you love science, and maybe your background will help other people, and that brings you joy. And if you like money and you work with money, that brings you joy, and that's fantastic. And maybe you have heightened heightened senses, and you're bringing joy into other people's lives because of it. So this is all about purpose, and there's no, I keep hearing like shadow of death, like without a shadow of death, if you compromise and learn to deal with other people in this human world, you won't fail. So keep working with people, keep, digging deeper with others, keep seeking balance in your relationships, and confide in other people, because if you don't realize or see the good in others, what does that say about how we feel about ourselves? So take leaps and strides, and like I said, confide in others, take that leap of faith, all right? The stars will align, trust me, okay? Keep that imagination growing. I'm just feeling like these videos, like what's going on here? Why am I supposed to do so much? Perhaps maybe there are people who are really becoming interested in this stuff. So, okay. So, so this is part of the book that I, temporarily began with, that I'm getting back into, and it says, feeling like ground yourself, people, okay? Get back into your own bodies right now. Live the way you want to. When you are sick, you think in a different way. You realize that you no longer have time for anything, let alone selfish, cynical, egotistical, so that's why I was supposed to read this, because I've been talking about the ego, superficial, and materialistic people. Oh my god, that's making me feel like crying right now, because that's what life is about, when there are synchronicities, when you trust those instincts and the words are there, all right? You suddenly want to detach yourself from all people who are self-absorbed, inconsiderate, and insensitive. You begin to realize that it is okay to be alone, to pray, be with loved ones, and to be honest with yourself, as we're talking all about that. You realize what you thought was important no longer is, and that everything can be taken away from you in a blink of an eye. So, not taking things for granted, appreciating things, manifesting abundance, manifesting joy, being lighthearted, learning about this stuff. Your priorities are quick to organize themselves. Does it really matter what I wear? What I look like? Who needs me? How you feel is all that matters. You begin thinking of different questions, such as, what have I accomplished, and how do I really feel about my life? So your spirituality and who I am, if this is all there is left. Meaning, purpose, that's what this is about. So having fun and having joy with meaning, and not creating controversy in the public, like not dedicating your heart and soul to something that doesn't even hold meaning to you. So that's where everything's subject to change, and that's why I do this energy healing, and getting it on a regular basis is so important, because we need it constantly. So the way that you feel in your space, the people that are around you, is like everything. So that's what's keeping us healthy, right? And then we don't want to wait till we get sick in order to realize that. So live the way that you want within reason. So I put that in because if you watch my ego versus heart talk, I talk a little bit about, we have to be rational, but because we don't need to be dramatic about things. And that's where it's talking about the compromise and that sort of thing. So educate yourself on when it comes to, money and materialism and that sort of thing, and how you really want to be living your life. So, yeah, I feel good about that, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you guys have a wicked time today. Bye.